Pentagon built a memorial to commemorate these lives. There are 184 benches in the memorial. The youngest person was 3 years old. Her name was Dana. She was traveling with her entire family aboard Flight 77. The oldest person was a 71-year-old retired military captain, I believe.
Oh, wait, no.
The benches in the memorial, they either face towards the building or away from the building. The benches that face towards the building signify people that lost their lives inside of the Pentagon. The benches that face towards the horizon are people that were aboard Flight 77 when it hit the building. The operation to rebuild the part of the Pentagon that was lost is called the Phoenix Project. Interesting fact is that Flight 77 hit the Pentagon exactly 60 years to the day after the groundbreaking ceremony that built the building.
That's the jam.
Okay.
The Lincoln Memorial.
This is Arlington. This is Arlington where Robert E.
Lee. Interesting facts until we get to our next monument here.
Really not
How many of you guys are baseball fans? Yes, I like you in the back there. Alright, who knows the baseball team for Washington?
Nationals.
The Nationals. The Nationals are on their way to being the only MLB team to have a completely green certified stadium. Up ahead of us here, straight ahead, is the Lincoln Memorial. The Lincoln Memorial
An Osprey,
is
dude.
the
Freaking
end of
Osprey
the
gunner.
National Mall. In the middle of the National Mall is the Washington Monument, and at the other end of the National Mall is the Capitol Building.
13 kill streak.
Yeah, you're right. That's an Osprey gun.
I've never seen an Osprey before, dude.
That is awesome.
I've come a lot of times. I've never seen it.
I'm not entirely
I've earned it,
positive,
but I've
there's,
never-
like,
That
a
is
memory
awesome.
one that just
Yeah.
flew over our little bus here. Okay, as I was saying, the Washington Monument is the tallest building in DC. Nothing can be taller than the monument. If you look closely, you will notice that it is built out of 2 separate types of stone. That is because the government lost money, no surprise there, and had to rebuild it using a cheaper material. At one point, the Capitol building was the only building that could be the tallest in Washington, D.C. However, there is one building taller than the Capitol, that is the Cairo Apartments, and the reason they are taller is because they were built before that law was made.
I didn't expect to see an Osprey the first day I get here.
As I said earlier, the Lincoln Monument is at one end, the Capitol is at the other end, and the Washington Monument stands right in the center of the National Mall. The National Mall is 146 total acres. It takes about, they say, 45 minutes to walk from one end to the other. That's if you walk very slow. It takes 45 minutes. The Capitol building, like I said, at one point it was the tallest building in D.C. The dome on top of the Capitol building took 11 years to build. Unfortunately, you won't get a very good view of it on this bus ride. However, both conferences will get to see it later in the week. Atop of the dome stands the Statue of Freedom. It is a 15,000-pound statue, 19 feet and 6 inches tall. Speaking of height, who wants to guess how tall the Washington Monument is?
It's like
Go for it.
300.
It's like
You're very close. 555 and 1/8 feet tall. Yes, very tall.
555.
St. Louis is 630. I was like, it's
Dude, it's so beautiful over here. Love the trees.
Alright, another fun fact for you. Who wants to guess how expensive the Pentagon was? The building, not the acreage that it sits on. By the way, it sits on 583 acres. But who wants to guess how expensive the building was?
It was like 3.
Wow, this is a real fun group we have here, guys.
$3.5 billion.
53 million. You're close. You're almost spot on. The Pentagon cost $49,600,000. Some more fun facts about DC for you.
It was built for 4 years.
Make our way back to campus. In DC is Gallaudet University. It is a university predominantly for deaf people. Gallaudet University is the pioneer of the football huddle. Yes, all of you boys that weren't paying attention, I just got your attention with the word football. It's true. They are deaf, so they pioneered the football huddle so they could sign to each other during the game what their next play would be. There's a ropes course there. We also took our kids there one conference for the ropes course, and by the end of it, we all knew the sign language alphabet. It's pretty interesting. Another interesting building in DC, we are passing the Kennedy Performing Arts Center. President Obama gives out a lot of awards there to various people in the performing arts community.
Almost positive Watergate's still left.
Possibly. but I don't think so. Washington, D.C., I think I said is home to over 170 embassies. If you are in the NSI conference, we will walk about 2.3 miles worth of embassies.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's fine.
For those of you familiar with the Watergate scandal, you are now passing the Watergate Hotel on the left-hand side of the bus. That is where Richard Nixon planted his bus. I don't know which building it was, but somewhere within the complex, Richard Nixon got in big trouble. Yes. It's also in the movie Forrest Gump.
Right next to you.
Alright, as we are nearing our destination here, I'll give you some more random facts. The Library of Congress is also here in D.C., the biggest library in the United States. Over 535 miles of bookshelves lie in the Library of Congress. It sits right next to the Supreme Court, directly across from the Capitol building. The Library of Congress has over 45,000 books just in the reading room alone. 151.8 volumes total are within the Library of Congress. Not all of them are accessible to the public. Up ahead of us here is the Key Bridge that runs over the Potomac River and connects Washington, D.C. to Virginia. We are now in Washington, D.C. If you look across the Potomac, that would be Virginia. That metro stop over there is called the Roslyn Metro Stop. It is home to the second largest escalator in the world. If you are afraid of heights, do not get on that escalator. When I say it is tall, I mean real tall. Yeah. Up on the right here, we are passing Georgetown. I will show you Georgetown University as we get closer. If you look close as we come around the corner here, you will see a large set of stairs. For those of you familiar with the movie The Exorcist, these are the stairs in The Exorcist where the priest falls out of the window. Okay? They're a very common destination for those people that want to stay in shape here in DC, and you'll often see people running up and down them. They are now directly in front of us, just to the left of this magnificent brick building with the clock on top. You will see them as we make our left-hand turn.
Wait, is this Independence Hall? No, it's in Philadelphia.
Yeah, probably should start getting obsessed with it. Duke really threw me off. I grew up in Duke.
Alright, who knows the only U.S. president that is buried in Washington, D.C.? Who?
Washington.
No, not JFK.
Robert Lee.
Not Abraham Lincoln. These are all really good guesses. It's actually Woodrow Wilson. He is buried in the National Cathedral.
Wow. Good job.
To the right-hand side of the bus here is Georgetown University. For those of you interested in national security intelligence, Georgetown University is very well known for its SFS, School for Foreign Service. It is very hard to get into. I myself did not get into it, so I'm a little bit bitter about that. However, that was years ago. But Georgetown is nonetheless a very beautiful campus, and you should check out the School for Foreign Service. As I mentioned, Woodrow Wilson is the only U.S. president to be buried in Washington, D.C. George Washington was supposed to be buried underneath the Capitol building. For those of you that read either the Da Vinci Code or Angels and Demons by Dan Brown, he mentioned the crypt underneath the Capitol building. That was supposed to be the destination for George Washington's grave. His wife Martha agreed to that. However, due to stipulations in his will, he is now buried in Mount Vernon. No, not Mount Vernon, the campus we are staying on, so don't go hunting for his grave. He is buried in Mount Vernon on the other side of the city. As we near our final destination, the George Washington University Mount Vernon campus, I will leave you with a few notes about Washington, D.C. Although we have talked about many great monuments and buildings today, Washington, D.C. is only 68 square miles, and thus was named in 2007 the most walkable city in the United States. Trust me, we will walk most of it this week.
Oh God.
15% of people in Washington, D.C. speak a language other than English at home.
Wait, I don't know if that's one or it's the mall.
The one by the mall.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called. I think it's called
This might be pretty obvious, but I think I also forgot to mention that DC stands for District of Columbia, and yes, you guessed it, it's named after Christopher Columbus, the world's wonderful explorer. Up ahead of us here on the left, surrounded by this lovely black iron fence and beautiful green ivy, is the German Embassy. Most of the embassies lie on, you guessed it, Embassy Row or Massachusetts Avenue. However, for some reason the Germans put theirs here. It is closed to the public. You cannot go running or jogging on it, which you cannot do anyways because you're trapped on campus with us all week long. Like I said, this is the German Embassy. A lot of the embassies, like I mentioned, are on Embassy Row. A few of them are set apart. If you are in the NSI or National Security Conference, you will visit the Embassy of the United Arab Emirates this week. It is beautiful. You will love it. Also not on Embassy, the Royal Thai Embassy and the Embassy of Ukraine, which are located in Georgetown on M Street, which is the street that we just passed with the exorcism stairs. On the right here is, according to the sign, St. Patrick's Day School, and a lot of very monstrous houses that you can look at your leisure. That is the German Embassy that we are passing now.
For DC, really expensive.
And ladies and gentlemen, as we make a left onto Whitehaven, this is where we will reach our final destination. Please make sure that you have picked up all of your belongings, that your tray tables are upright and locked. Just kidding. And that your seatbelt is securely fastened. Just kidding, guys. Make sure you have all of your stuff, though. We are almost there. We'll get you out of this heat and get you into some air-conditioned dorms.
I actually didn't mind the temperature.
And hopefully you'll be able to eat before the welcome session. If you have any questions, let us know.